Hello, everybody.
And this says waiting for everyone to join.
Okay, good, because I can't tell what's now dismissed.
Okay, now the yellow bar is gone, and maybe we have. Looks like we might have 10 people. Hello, can you all hear us?
Good afternoon. Can we hear everybody?
And they might not be able to talk, but they can probably do a thumbs up.
Excellent. And
Yeah. Awesome.
Super. Yes. So please use those emojis at the bottom there, the emoticons, to let us know. And I'm going to kindly ask you, you guys can't chat with us. It's, I think, disabled. So if you don't mind, if you have any questions, to just go ahead and put them in the Q&A. The way we're going to run this is I'm just going to run through the presentation. So please be a little bit patient. It's a good presentation, but it's a little bit long. If you can try to post your questions in the Q&A in the meantime, and if you have anything, just write them down, and then we will be happy to answer your questions at the end of the presentation. I guess that goes through the administrative side of the presentation. We want to welcome you all. Thank you for coming to the School of Industrial Design presentation. I'm going to share the larger version of this presentation now so that you can see that instead of my face. And as soon as I can... Whoop.
And we are Natalie and Robin. We both teach at the School of Industrial Design. So should you end up joining us, we would be some of your profs at some point along the way. Welcome.
Absolutely. So am I full screen now, Rob?
Yep, you're full screen. You're good. Live.
Perfect.
Yep.
So as Rob said, we are both instructors here at the School of Industrial Design. My particular role is to be teaching first year studio. So I may be one of the two first faces that you see if you join our program. We're both very excited to represent the School of Industrial Design because it is such a very broad and versatile field of study. So who is in gray on this first slide is Stephen Field, who you may have seen in other presentations if you have attended any prior ones to prior to this summer or this early fall. And he is one of the stars of the program as well. So if you recognize him, that would be it. So I'm going to start off by just talking a little bit about what industrial design students study, because it is kind of it's a large field of study, and there's a lot of different things about it that we could speak about. But I want to start by talking to you about all of the different things that are influenced or have an influence on the stuff that we study here in the School of Industrial Design. We touch on all sorts of things that we research for doing the design work or for understanding how things are going to be improved in the design. So we look at fashion and textile design. We look at designing the look and the feel of clothing and the accessories. We also look at safety gear, sports gear, all sorts of things that fashion you may not realize, but has an impact on the things that we wear for other reasons. So for performance gear, for, all sorts of different accessories that are related. Oh, I think I just lost light in the room. So I apologize. Hang on one second. But yeah, so anything from camping gear, sports gear, shoes, performance wear gear, all of those things. We have our hands in everything as industrial designers. So anything to do with athletic wear, grip, sports watches, how they perform, how they hold up, smart wear, anything that is to do with intelligent clothes that can either help you, I don't know, what kind of smart products are existing in clothes, whether it be hooking up to Bluetooth devices, whether it be for...
and measuring heart rates and different elements of body. Hey, we can actually see you too, Natalie, even though your light's dim. We can sort of see your face. It's a little like we're kumbaya around a campfire, but it is kind of okay. It works because we're focusing on the deck. So
excellent. Yeah. Okay.
We're saving energy with SID. We've got lights on timers, and if we haven't moved around a lot, we shut down. All right.
I kind of snuck in, just so you know, into the school on the weekend. So I'm kind of going a little bit rogue here on wanting to show you what the school looks like. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Rob. But also is to understand what the different materials are capable of doing, the qualities, the physical aspects of materials, how they can stretch, how they can be designed, how they can be manufactured, all of these things, meshes, way we sweat, how they wick humidity, all of these things we look at and we study them when we look at product design. We also dabble with understanding how architecture works, because we are quite prominent in all of anything that's mass produced, anything that is used in the architecture industry to design buildings, to do railings, boardwalks. We have our fingers in everything. And so what's amazing about the School of Industrial Design is that we are so multifaceted. And there are so many different types of people with different backgrounds, with different passions, with different interests that kind of gravitate to the School of Industrial Design, because you still have the ability to learn more about those things and use them in becoming, in designing where you're going to go in your path as an industrial designer, where you're going to end up. So you see these beautiful stairs, how they're designed, what they're made of, this beautiful glass balustrade that goes down the stairs. All of these things are done by industrial designers. These fenestrations, these curtain walls, all of these different things, how things open. Look at this beautiful cluster for a shower. The controls, the way it's used, the way it gets put away, the material, the color, the finish. We have, honestly, there's such a variety of products that we can be involved in, and that's partly why we're so excited about the field of industrial design, because it's actually quite the opposite of closing in your options. When you study with the School of Industrial Design, it's actually opening up what the things that you can apply your degree to. So here we look at these amazing floating rings of light in a building, and you see how we can work with other fields and other disciplines in having an amazing impact on the things that we see and use every day. Look at this amazing chair. We even get to dabble in looking at 3D data, 3D modeling, how to reinterpret structural elements of something, and also understanding how the human body interacts with those products, how someone is going to be comfortable, how will they sit, how will it be perceived, does it look stable, is it comfortable, is it well made, it's something that's going to be a material that lasts. So I don't want to dwell too much on any one slide, just because I know we're kind of on a tight time limit for this. And I don't know about Rob, but I could talk about design for a long time. I think that could be said for a lot of designers. So
we've just lost the share of your screen for some reason.
Oh no.
So okay. It's just going back up to both of us on full screen mode. Maybe just go with the simple button in the middle. Okay, you lost connection for a moment. You're back. I can hear you. Oh. Hey gang, we'll just wait for a second, see if she can get on. Otherwise I'll pick up the deck from where we were. I'm sure she'll get back.
Are we good?
Yep, you're back in now. You are, and maybe try presenting again. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. It's never fun without a little bit of drama.
Your light's back on too.
I know. I ran over there to do it.
Okay. Hey, perfect. I can see it now. You're on. Yeah. You did architecture.
Yeah. I'm just going to forward through these really quick. I think it went back too far.
It's fine.
And here we are back at the chair. We good?
Yep. Good.
Awesome. Thanks for your patience, guys. Okay. So, with interior design, and again, I don't want to dwell too much on these because there's so many different things that industrial design touches on, as anyone who's in the program could attest. And we'll talk a little bit more about the different types of projects that students do in their fourth year and the things that they venture on to pursue when they leave our program as well. But look at this light. It's kind of got a really interesting set of materials that make the arm. Look at the way they treated the cord. Here, sometimes in products we hide the things that make up the mechanism or that help make the product work, and other times they can be raised up to be a beautiful element in the design of the object. So in this case, the cord is made red to stand out and become a nice, interesting part or design element to the lamp. It's got some nice proportions, and this got this fun little Bezier little joystick to turn the lamp on and off at the base. It's probably got a nice weighted base so that it can be smaller, but it has more weight to it so that it can counterbalance the heaviness of the shade in the light bulb. There's so many interesting things. So whether you're kind of a person who likes taking things apart and putting them back together and understanding the mechanics, whether you're more of an exhibition type of larger scale designer who likes to do lighting and ambiance and environments, or it can even go into set design. We even had a graduate that became a magician, but we'll talk about that some other time. But even the handles in cabinetry can be given a design element, a design flair. And where we differ from, say, architecture is that it's a little bit more closer to the human scale, whereas our architecture is the study of the building, of the environments, of the air, of the things that make up the building. We are a little bit on a smaller scale, but it can be equally diverse and super interesting. And there's really no limit to what you can apply industrial design to. It even goes beyond products and over to the digital side. But anyway, look at this beautiful set of faucets for dedicated hot water next to the faucet. We help make lives easier. We help make lives more intuitive or easier to use or more universal or accessible. So we make things happen in the environment of where we live, in our living spaces, that change the look or are more environmentally friendly or more cost effective or are more sustainable. In urban planning, we even have our fingers in that too, with graphic design, set design, communication, and with the word's escaping me, but even with the graphics that are used for navigating around a space and for communicating information. So the whole system of communication to people and the human experience and human-centered design, making things easy and clear to understand, and all of those things. Even the font, we dabble in a little bit of everything. We may not have designed the architectural structure that is this, but we, I'm sure, had our hand in being able to create these interesting they're almost like supports for people to lean into at the bus station. So we may have worked with an architectural firm, or possibly it was just done by an industrial designer to create these things. And they probably are stationary, but they're probably designed to help people just take the weight off when they're waiting for the bus, so that they're not having to use benches. There's other interesting things that make it long-term friendly for use, is that it's not tied to the ground. So I guess sweeping and cleaning the ground around it would be facilitated. It might have a really interesting, warm, inviting feel to it. You've got these beautiful globes. It's less industrial feeling as, say, the OC Transpo station downtown. Anyway, we could talk. Making benches look beautiful, and coming up with a system to maybe have them be modular or be well integrated with other existing architectural details in the environment. And we come up with park benches or a good place for people to hang out, and play structures, parks, even signage, and navigating around a space, which is a nice segue into graphic design. We dabble in that a little bit too, because it borders and it transcends the physical, and then we get over into the digital. So anything to do with two-dimensional images, user interface, UX and UI. So you see it on websites, computer apps, magazines, books, packaging, signs. I'm sure there's probably some missing that could be touched on as well. But there are so many different things that we dabble in as industrial designers, and we find out how it's made or how it can be represented, and we facilitate the interaction between the product and the user, and the human that's going to use it to make their life better, or to understand how it works and to live with it, incorporate it in our lives. Even website design, signage in airports, making things that are universal and intuitive are all in our wheelhouse. Let's see what else we've got here. Yeah, different apps and different things that we use on our phone, and understanding how much the space has to be for someone's finger to be able to comfortably navigate in there. Even the phone design, but there's so many different things. Even logo design, believe it or not, there's a lot of interesting things that take place in logo design. Am I talking too quickly, or is it okay with everybody?
Yeah, we'll see what people say. My quick take is that you're not talking too quickly in terms of we can hear you very well.
Okay.
But I think we're going to get bunched up near the end because there's so much to say on each one of these things. So just from my experience on giving the last deck, this is the part where we can say a lot, but we're
going to turn it down.
Yeah. But it's going good. It's going good.
We're about 20 minutes in almost, and I think I've lost track of what slide we're on, but I think we're okay. I think. So I'll try to move it along a little bit. So look at this fun thing that's taking place here. You see the G of goodwill, and it becomes a happy face looking at you. And there are other interesting things where we as designers kind of are able to incorporate different aspects of understanding the branding of a company. And look at this Baskin Robbins here, the BR for Baskin Robbins, and you can clearly see that they have like the 31 for the different flavors of ice cream that they have. So there are clever little things that take place in not only the branding, but in the design of the product and the product image. Does anybody, I can't see if anybody is using emoticons, but or the emojis. I don't even know if that's the right term for them. But can everybody, is everyone familiar with how they place the arrow in the EX? Again, it's subliminal. It's the little things that we have our hands in, how family is around this celebratory little bowl of salsa in the Tostitos logo. So industrial design. So basically I've touched on all of the different things that play in the world of industrial design and what you would study with us. But what it is really is bringing artistic form and usability to everyday mass-produced products. In a nutshell, that's what it is that we do. So look at this shoe, we look at the materials, we look at the performance, we look at the way the laces are going on and off, how the shoe can fit onto the foot. There's even a little pull loop at the back so that you can pull your shoe up over your heel, the way it fits, the way it feels. There's so many different aspects of the materials and the way that it's manufactured, the way it fits, the way it performs that are in something as simple as a shoe. We have a really amazing amount of different types of machinery and equipment here. All of them have a specific environment, which is it has to be sanitizable, it's medical, it's supposed to inspire confidence and professionalism and precision. And you want to be able to trust it. So a color comes into the thing as well as being comfortable for the people who are using the equipment, so that they can use it for long hours without getting fatigue. Proper lighting, being able to move it in the right position. Here we have another complete different challenge where you're completely squished up in the restroom of an airplane. So there are a whole bunch of different size constraints that are involved in understanding that. Again, we go back to exhibition design, being able to relay a brand into a 3D communication device or tool, a marketing tool that can become part of an experience for the user. Here we challenge what the structural qualities are that can make the spokes of a wheel. And by looking at new materials that are manufactured that have strength in different ways than our traditional old spokes, we can explore completely different physical representations or physical supports based on what the technology or the materials are able to do. And we're just entering a whole new phase of 3D. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Look at this amazingly simple, beautiful, and elegant design of these just mixing spoons and mixing bowls, and how they all nest together. They all have a place to go, and they're super compact. They all fit into each other. So, and if you forget what something is, you can maybe remember what color is which, and there's a very specific order that they go. You know exactly if one's missing. It's elegant and it's very simple, and something as simple as a mixing bowl or a mixing spoon, we have the ability and the option to problem solve and make it something beautiful and something desirable. The inside of a car, how often we forget that the inside, the cockpit, the cluster, the dashboard, all of the things that you have to touch and interact with in a car are specifically designed so that you're not taking your eyes off the road as you're using them. They become intuitive. The knobs have different textures so that you can recognize them without looking down and seeing what your hands are doing. And then all of the thing about temperature, climate control, defrosting, all of these things are worked into the design, as well as the seat, making it safe. Letting materials breathe and make something that's completely ergonomic and comfortable for you to use for long periods of time without getting a sore back. Adjustability, safety and structural things. Look at this beautiful helmet. That has to be able to protect the brain in case of an accident on the field or on your bike or for whatever sport that it is that you're applying a helmet to, how it adjusts to different sized or shapes of head. All of these things can be explored. This beautiful little, I think this was a speaker where you have this beautiful array of little vent holes around the back. So many different things. So I have a little mini video here that I think it's only a minute, but it does a pretty good job in giving you kind of an overall view of what is industrial design, because we feel that there's a little bit of a challenge with being able to define it because it's so adaptable and so diverse. Anyway, I'll play this now, and please give me a heads up, Rob, if it doesn't play.
Okay.
It tried to close the lights on me again. So I hope that video was helpful. It just gives you kind of a quick overview. According to the World Design Organization, it is the industrial design is a strategic problem-solving process that drives innovation, builds business success, and leads to a better quality of life through innovative products, systems, services, and experiences. Related knowledge. So I am only a quarter into this presentation, so I'm going to try to move along a little bit quickly. When we look at a smartphone, we have to understand what goes into the smartphone in order to be able to design the shell of it. So we know this thing. or familiar with that. But so many different things are involved in the design of a phone. Something so simple from the outside has so many guts and pieces that have to be accommodated. You have to be able to hear the volume properly. There's UI, UX design. There's packaging design, which is actually, they're quite known. All of these things now are evolving to have these beautiful packages that are that exude quality and protect the product, and also have a huge part to play in the branding. Design involves science, technology, psychology, marketing, business, art, science and tech. Did you see that photo? Is it going to play again? There's so much industrial design in this thing. Every one of the things, and it's funny because these are things that are designed to mass produce things, and we had to mass produce those things to produce that equipment. Let's see. Oops, I went too far. Hang on. I'm getting trigger happy here. Crayons. How those are manufactured. This is probably a machine to help kind of put all of the different colored crayons in one box. Lego pieces, you guys are familiar with that? We look at the different types of molds that are made for manufacturing the Lego pieces, and they're quite complex, as simple as they look, but there's some fun stuff that goes into designing these things. Do they click when they put together? Do they hold firmly? You see the runner system here that goes between the parts. This is a multi cavity mold, which can produce, I think, 16 or we've got 24 pieces in one push with an injection molded machine. So this is the steel mold. This is kind of this is related to the picture that was there before. So this is a line making cars. And this is like a lab of 3D printers. So all of these ones are 3D printers. And the fun thing with the 3D printer is you can actually 3D print some of the components to make more 3D printers. But this is the way things are moving to. Products on demand. And it's actually 3D printing. We can go off on a whole other tangent and talk about how it's completely changing the world of mass production, and even to the point where you can 3D print the foundation to your house in cement. So it's some really exciting times. Ergonomics and Anthropometrics. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what that is, but it's the study of the size and shape of human body, of the way we are able to move, the range of motion that we have, of repeated movements and muscle fatigue, and how to prevent, how to basically make things that fit properly and function properly in order for them to be comfortable and easy for us to use. So, and you look at this beautiful design for a universal kitchen. So this is designed so that people with different physical challenges can be accommodated, or it can be a highly efficient system where someone could stand in the center and access almost all of the different types of things within reach. Again, ease of use, transparency, making sure it fits the human body, making sure that people of different sizes and shapes can be accommodated in the different things that we design. Some really nice subtle details here that hide the cables and all of the wires that are related to these monitors. All of these things are designed into the product to make it more user-friendly, to make it less trip hazard, make it function with rolling casters on the chairs, make it comfortable for long hours of use. All of these things, when everything you use every day that's comfortable or you like, is thanks to an industrial designer. When we do a study of something as simple as a mouse, we go through so many different iterations and exploring different forms, different look, feel. How does it sit well? Does it fit all most hands? Is it intuitive which way it's facing? Does it is it comfortable for long periods of use to reduce carpal tunnel? There's so many things that go into it. And these are low fidelity, meaning we can do a whole bunch of models in foam before we commit to more expensive prototypes and further along in the design process. We can try a whole bunch of different things. And that's part of the fun of industrial design, is that the more problem solving you do, the better at it you get, and you start to be able to see patterns and understand how humans like to interact with the products. The business aspect of design, well, we are quite a huge part of the initial investment that companies have to do to get the right product. But over the long term, the investment in getting something properly designed has huge payback. There's the longevity of the product. It's more desirable, it's more comfortable, and people will return to buy it because it's comfortable, or they know that it's a certain company has a certain image of having reliable or well-designed products, and that creates brand loyalty. And over the long run, the investment that companies make in hiring or engaging people of our discipline in the development of their products has a huge long-term benefit. So we're always going to be in the picture somewhere. We've kind of carved ourselves into a nice little spot in the industry. With relating to arts, we bringing artistic form and usability to everyday mass-produced products. We make things look amazing. We make them look interesting, and we can use the things that we learn about structure and performance, and we can create some really, really, really interesting products. This looks as though it's a prosthetic leg for the back leg of the person who's using this, and maybe they have multiple different challenges. But we can make everything look interesting and be higher functional use, higher functional value is what I'm trying to say. But it can always look and feel comfortable for the user. It can always be something that doesn't have to look like it's a hindrance. And on the contrary, we have the potential to make everything beautiful around us. We have the potential to make it user-friendly and lightweight and responsible and universal. So a lot of things that we can do. I believe it's a speaker, we can challenge the things that we inherited from past processes of manufacture. Design involves people. It involves researching how people use things, how people can alter functionality to be even more useful and even more interesting, such as this updated light switch. It makes total sense to have the thing glow if the light is dim in the room so that you can find it easily, that it's intuitive, that you can just have to touch it without having to click it up. Moving on to student focus. We're eager to find out what you like because there's something in it for everyone. So when we ask things like, do you like making things? Do you like problem solving? Are you curious? Do you see things that you think you could improve? Do you like explaining information? This is a representation of infographic. It's a type of graphic design which is designed to give you a lot of information with with little reading. We don't have to read a lot to understand what this thing is representing and to try to get as much information without having to have a really text-heavy article. Do you like to draw? All of these things we ask because you don't have to be excellent at any one of them, but all of them can be driving factors to encourage you to, hey, maybe that is a good program for me. Maybe I do fit in because I like making things. I like figuring out how things work. Maybe you're visual, maybe you're a sketching person. Maybe you like to draw things and figure things out. Or maybe you just like the way different forms look with each other. But we teach sketching in the program. We will teach you how to look at the things that are around you or how to conceptualize what they could look like. We teach you how to use markers and how to do the different types of communicating that we do as industrial designers to bridge the gap between the client and maybe the engineering department or the manufacturing side or the marketing or the branding or there's so many different ways that we have an impact in the different things that we do. This would be something to explore. How would you dampen the vibration that comes from when you whack a hammer and looking at the different materials? And this is someone having sketching different possibilities, different explorative sketching. Car design, always a good go-to for the people who are interested in transportation design and car design. We always get those. Do you like to make things? We have so many opportunities to craft and prototype and explore things in 3D. These are examples of low fidelity models that are just used to figure out, okay, well, what size should the button be? Is it comfortable if I hold it like this? Is it intuitive for me to have to press down on it? Or maybe it's exploring the different proportions for aesthetic reasons. You have in the back there also different prototypes of probably what the user interface looks like at the back of the camera. Different systems or sizes or ways to interact with the lenses at the back of the image here. In this photo, we look at something that is, the traditional clay modeling of a full vehicle before they go to manufacturing. Once you go to manufacturing, it's a really expensive process. They want to make sure that every line, every curve, every nuance in the form of the car has been figured out and accounted for and designed exactly the way it should, that the line between the grille and the front fender, that this is the way it's looking, and it's really exciting and very diverse. Here we go into more of the manufacturing of maybe prototyping using a milling machine and carving out of a solid piece of metal this gear looking thing that can have a different mechanical application somewhere in the thing. But even this hose, this blue articulated kind of hose, delivers either a coolant or cold air to keep the metal cold as it's being milled, because it gets very hot. And even this was done by an industrial designer. This is actually a picture of our wood shop. So one of our labs on campus that we have access to is, actually, it's not the wood shop. This was the metal shop. Or no, it is.
Yeah, it's wood. Yep.
It's wood. So here we're having someone probably doing a prototype or a model of some piece of furniture, and they're trying to figure out how to assemble the different pieces together and make the different parts. And that was one of our technicians, by the way, Walter. We were able to vacuum form or 3D print different types of models as well, if we're exploring the shape or the way things work together for product design. So I want to just take a few minutes to talk about why we feel that Carleton is such a powerful program. What makes our program unique? We have a really strong foundation. We were established in 1973. I think we were one of the first schools of industrial design, if not the first school of industrial design in Canada.
First university-based one in Canada.
First university-based one. Alumni network all over the world. We are the only ID program in Canada within an engineering faculty. So that's a little point I want to touch on for just a second, is that there are other industrial design programs, but they usually fall under the Faculty of Arts. What we offer is a little bit more of the engineering side of things, where we figure out how the thing works, how it can be manufactured, and how. And so we as
your deck is dropped again.
It's a transferable program. There's a lot of opportunity to study multidisciplinary subjects. Oh, there goes the light again. So sorry.
We've actually lost the deck just a moment ago.
Oh no! I wonder if it's tied to the. No, I guess it wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, I wondered about that too. You were thinking about the light.
It should, okay, how do I get here and see if I can reshare?
And I would suggest, because we have 5 minutes left and then we're out of here,
Okay.
we probably will skip the video that would show around the school.
Yeah.
We probably want to move into that thing that talks a bit about first year, second year, third year, just like what the program is.
Okay. Well, I'm a lot further behind than I thought. Okay. Are we back to sharing?
Yeah, we can see it, just presentation mode. Yeah, cool.
Okay. I'll just skip through these really quick. So yeah, it's a rigorous university program. What makes our program really cool is that it is a studio-based learning environment. We have state-of-the-art modeling and prototyping facilities here on campus. We have studio spaces, so it's a very hands-on type of program. So there are other things that you will study, but we do have a large component of model making and trying things out and learning to do problem solving. So I'm going to skip that video. If I have time, I'll circle back and show it at the end of the presentation. I just want to go through a few things. We do have a really strong student exchange program with different universities around the world. Australia, China, India, Mexico, and the UK. We have a little bit of everything there. We do have a co-op that is available. It is a 12-month design work experience. We have an industrial design internship, which is usually taking place between your third and fourth year. This is a 12-year design work experience, and it's extremely valuable. It is part of the program. You do have to do it in order to graduate. What is the first year of the program like? So I'm going to be your face for 6 hours of the week in your first year. We look at history of industrial design analysis, psychology, math, physics, and economics. In second year, it gets a little bit more involved. We go to also 6 hours per week. Sensory aspects of design, Mass Pro, perception, ergonomics for product design, computer applications, and you get 2 free electives. In third year, you would have Rob as your prof. You do basic marketing, contextual nature of products, industrial design and the user, industrial design elective ×2. So there are other electives within the program, and you get 2 free electives as well. And then fourth year, so you have a major project which spans the 2 semesters. Then you have a minor project, industrial design seminar, internship field report, 3 electives, and professional practice. So this is a couple of examples of the fourth year projects, and there are 2 that are behind me as well. And it just goes to show you the depth that we go to research the product and to end up, we go through the iterative process, we figure out different things. There are prototypes made, research, and usually you may even carry over from your internship and be working as part of what the company that you interned with, that may have an impact on what you do for your fourth year project. So there are a lot of opportunities that are opened up through the different types of projects that you can choose in your fourth year. And usually those will lead to interest from the different types of companies. So you have a say in the type of projects that you're doing towards the end, because we offer different types of projects at the fourth year, and those have a good success for transitioning you to the type of design that you want to do when you leave the program. This is a few pictures of our fourth year grad show. It's a big deal. We invite people from the industry, local companies, and they have a chance to see what you've been working on for your fourth year. You have a chance to talk with potential employers, to network, and to begin your career. It's a really fun, it's a big deal. It's part of tradition of the school. This is a few slides showing the recent awards that some of our graduates have gotten through ACIDO, which is the
it's the Association of Chartered Industrial Designers of Ontario.
Ontario. Thank you.
There we go.
I need to know this. We have a strong alumni body. Sorry, I'm still nervous and I'm trying to wrap it up in a hurry for you. So thank you, Rob, for that.
No problem.
We have one student who won an award, working with for IKEA, or she's anyway. So we have different things around big companies. Kareem Rashid, who you may know, is kind of like a superstar among designers. We have Jane Abernathy, who is Chief Sustainability Officer at Human Scale. We have different things. We can talk more about any one of those. Even actually, my ex-classmate Timothy was the designer at Bombardier who did the Olympic torch. I think it was like 2 Olympics ago. But there's we're out there. So after graduation, expect to work in large corporate design group. You could work for Microsoft, MS, Samsung, LG, GE, IKEA, Technion. These are just some of the places where some of our graduates have gone. I don't want to skip over that too much, but even museums, exhibition, education, competing programs in Canada. Well, there are other industrial design programs, but as to reiterate, we are the only one that is part of the subset of engineering. So we are able to make what we design, and it's a kind of a bragging rights type of thing, but it's a robust program, and we have high success rate because of that. Admission requirements: OSSD minimum of 6, grade 12, 4U or M courses, including advanced functions, physics, calculus, and vectors is recommended but not necessary. Design tech is recommended but not necessary, and visual arts portfolio.
We just got a quick note here from Briar. We got to wrap up in the next 2 minutes.
Okay.
So that's cool.
I think we're almost done.
Yeah, maybe as long as we can get to land on that ID portfolio session, slide 70.
Okay. What are we at now? I have no numbers.
Oh, yeah, just keep going. It's almost there.
Okay.
So for everybody here, we'll be at the booth, but there are some upcoming dates where we haven't talked about much about the portfolio. You need all those sets of grades that are courses that's been described, but we also need a portfolio to enter. So you can come over and talk to us in the booth. And we have upcoming events where we help look at your portfolio, talk about what portfolios are. Yeah, so I'll let you keep going there, Natalie, for a sec.
Okay.
And
so these are the important dates, and we'll have those available to talk about in the booth. It does cost $10 to submit your portfolios on SlideRoom. Starting January 15th is when we start accepting portfolios for admission, and we have a deadline of March 1st. We do have a website link that we can share also through the chat. For portfolio examples, which can help you with the different guidelines. Some of the stuff that you would include in a portfolio, and again, we do have students, we can't help you directly, but we do have students that are there to volunteer and help guide you as to how they got into the program or give you some advice with the things that you bring to these meets. We include freehand and computer generated drawings, technical drawings, paintings, graphics and photographs, images of 3D work, sculptures, models, renovations, furniture, fashion items. We are not so exclusive where you don't have to maybe be a master artist to do these things. What we look for is people who are curious and who like to figure things out, people who like to problem solve. And if you're able to document that somehow or show a really cool thing that you made or that kind of thing, those things are the types of things that we look for. Is there anything missing?
I think that's good. I think we've taken Briar's two minutes there. There's a little thing in the chat that is telling people to head over to the industrial design booth where we will be, and we can answer your specific questions and anything that maybe we flew through that you'd like to talk more about. We'll be there for a while. So
thank
Briar
you.
hasn't kicked us out at all. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I'm sure I don't see any actual questions here, but we will be looking for those in the booth, and I hope you can meet us there. It would be a real pleasure for us to talk to you guys.
Yeah, it might take us a moment or two just to get there because we'll find our way, but we will be there. We're going to be there till I guess about 3:30 or so.
Oh, I see a couple. So is there co-op? Yes, there is a co-op. It's a 12-month thing, but I think you have to actually take a year off of the program in order to take it, but we can answer that more in depth later. Can you take industrial design as a minor? I think you can take industrial design and take other things as a minor. I don't know if
that's right. Yeah.
Industrial design works the other way around. We don't like to share your brain. We want to keep you here and let you explore out. No, I'm just kidding. This year's portfolio and information will be on-site or virtual. I believe it's virtual.
Oh, sorry. Which one?
Is this year's portfolio and information session will be on site?
Oh, they're all virtual. Yep, they are currently virtual. We have had the odd one on campus, but they're not called the information sessions. So the SID information portfolio ones are all virtual, those 3 dates.
That might change if we have any other kind of things happening in the winter semester. If there's any changes, you'll find them on our website. But I think for now, everything is virtual.
Great. Thanks for your time and information. That's awesome. Cool.
I hope I didn't.
Yeah, no, the minor is a very good question. I actually think we do certainly have students from outside that are allowed to take numbers of electives in industrial design some of the earlier years. So you have business students that are tuning their knowledge of design thinking and such. So I don't 100% know actually if we're a minor or not to them. I don't think so, but something we'll look into for sure.
I think because our core courses are so intensive, I don't think
they can't take it, but you do have people that are industrial designers with a business minor and other minors.
Absolutely. And I think part of it is because you have to actually qualify to get into the program, and there's only so many places available in those core courses.
Okay. So I think we've got a few people dropping off. I think we're going to maybe make our way over to the booth now.
All right. So thank you. I think this is the cue where our navigator will hear our cue to say goodbye. So we'll see you over in the booth. Thank you very much. They're supposed to listen for us to say those